Hello everyone and welcome back to Joys of Flies. If you're new here, my name's Cassidy and I deal with the sewing side of this channel. So today's tutorial is for those beginners out there who, when they read sewing patterns, watch sewing tutorials, are like, I cannot understand what you're talking about. I don't understand these sewing terms. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 of the most basic terms that are most regularly used and give you a little explanation so next time you read that pattern or watch the tutorial, you understand exactly what they're talking about. So starting off at number 1 is basting or tacking. Basting is the proper term, but quite often people just use tacking instead. But basting is basically where you just sew a couple of loose stitches in your fabric to hold it in place before you sew it properly. So lots of the time when things are quite fiddly, too fiddly to pin the fabric in place, basting is an easier option because you just stitch a couple of stitches in your fabric just to hold it in place and then sew it properly on your sewing machine. Then once it's all sewn properly, you can just seam rip those basting stitches out. Next up, we have right side and wrong side, and this is meaning your fabric. So the right side and wrong side of your fabric. So the right side, say you're making a garment, the right side is the side that you want to be able to see from the outside, and the wrong side is the side that you want to be inside your clothes, the side that you can't see from the outside. So generally in patterns you'll have it, they'll say place your pattern pieces right sides together or place it wrong sides down, things like that. This is just telling you what sides to place together. If it's say right sides together, you're just going to want to place the right sides of your pattern pieces, the pieces that you want to be seen from the outside, together. Vice versa with the wrong side and things like that. Now, fun fact, fabric technically doesn't have a right side or a wrong side. It is your choice. So obviously with lots of fabrics, specifically like cottons and things like that, the right side and wrong side that you would choose is really obvious. One side doesn't have a clear pattern and what the other side does have a clear pattern. But some fabrics, you really can't tell a difference, so you can choose. There's only ever so slight a difference, so you can choose which side you prefer. Number 3 on my list is seam allowance. So when you sew your fabric, you don't sew directly at the edge of it. You sew a little way in. So all of that fabric on the inside of the seam you stitch is called seam allowance. So you'll always read on a pattern, sew with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, say. So that simply means that you're going to come in 1/4 of an inch from the edge of your fabric and sew your seam 1/4 of an inch in. That is, you've sewn with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So when patterns are made, the pattern is made to the size that people want, and then the extra measurement for the seam allowance is added all along every single seam, so that then when the project is made, it's the correct size instead of being, say, 1/2 an inch too small because you've used up fabric for the seam allowance. Now, the important thing to remember is not all patterns, for some reason, I don't understand why, but not all patterns include seam allowance. So when you're about to sew with a pattern, just check on it that it includes seam allowance. It will say whether it does and what size seam allowance, but if it doesn't, all you're going to need to do is add your desired seam allowance along all the seams when you cut it out of your fabric. Next is back stitching. So on every single sewing machine, there will either be a button or say a little lever that is your back stitch button, and it will generally have a little arrow looping back on itself on it. Now, for more information or to find this button or lever, check your machine's manual. But back stitching is basically a way of knotting your thread. You'll always hear people saying before you start your seam and after you finish your seam, always back stitch. So this is simply knotting your thread at either end on your sewing machine so that the seam doesn't come undone. So all you need to do is, before you start your seam, press your back stitch button and it will stitch in the opposite direction. So just do a couple of stitches going in that opposite direction, then let go of your back stitch button. You can sew your seam as normal, and then when you come to the end, just once again do a couple of stitches back stitching in the opposite direction to knot your thread. Back stitching is just a way to keep your seam secure. Sometimes you don't need to backstitch. Say when you're gathering fabric, so you want to be able to pull your threads and gather your fabric, you don't want to backstitch, and sometimes maybe things will be specified at times not to backstitch. So that is basically when you want, for some reason, to keep your threads loose and not knot them. Next on the list is darts. Now, darts are actually a technique used in sewing, and it's used to add shape to a piece of clothing. So instead of the fabric just laying flat, it adds curves and makes it a more fitted shape. So as I said, darts are actually a techniques. You sew them. I'm not going to get into the sewing now because it's a bit longer, but for a beginner I would go more in depth in it in a separate tutorial. but if you want to know how to sew them, there's many tutorials online, and I'm pretty sure I've got a tutorial. If I do, I'll link it down below in the description for you. But if ever you see on a pattern a little triangle marked on the pattern, that is basically showing you where your dart is. A dart is just a triangle that is then sewn together, right sides together, to create the shape. They can be anywhere on patterns, and they're quite often used in most patterns. So if ever you see that triangle, all you need to know is that is where you're going to sew a dart. Now the next one is stay stitching. So you may have it in your pattern. One of the steps is it's saying to stay stitch the neckline, or say stay stitch the armhole. Now stay stitching is basically just sewing a row of stitches on the place where it's telling you to. Now it will always generally be telling you to stay stitch on a curve on your pattern, say an armhole or a neckline. They're two curves, because when you cut a curve out of your fabric, that curve, because it's cut on a curve, that means that it can stretch and warp really easily if you handle it a bit too roughly. Now obviously if it stretches or warps, that's ruined your pattern. So stay stitching stops it from being able to stretch, because all you're doing is adding some stitches in there to stop it being able to move anywhere. So if it says to stay stitch your neckline, all you're going to need to do is stitch a row of stitches along the edge of your neckline, and that will stop your neckline from stretching. Next up we have notches. Now if you look on a paper pattern, you may see along any of the edges, along any of the seams of the pattern, tiny little triangles. These are called notches. Now notches are used to be able to help you match up pattern pieces. So you may have a pattern, and in one of the steps it says match up the notches on the armhole with the notches on the sleeve. That means all you're going to need to do is match up the notches on those said pattern pieces. It's just a way for you to be able to easily pin together pattern pieces in the right place, just to make sure that they're not being pinned in the wrong place or anything. Now the next one, you may hear people saying in tutorials, or it might read on a pattern, finish the seam. Now finishing is basically just saying do something to stop that seam from fraying. Simple as that. So you've got a couple of options to finish your seam. One of them is an overlocker. So all you need to do then is on that seam you've just sewn, overlock the edge to stop that edge from fraying. But obviously lots of people don't have an overlocker. So some other ones that I have written down, so I've just forgotten them, is bias tape. So all you need to do is wrap your raw edge in bias tape. Once again, that's more of a sewing technique, so if you want a tutorial, I'll link my one down below for you. Another one is if you don't have an overlocker, this is a beginner friendly version of an overlocker. All you need to do is use a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine, zigzagging along the edge of your fabric. It's kind of like a little miniature overlocking stitch, so that will just stop it from fraying. That's all that finishing means. You're finishing it so that it looks neat and it doesn't fray. Now number 9, I'm pretty sure it's 9, I may be wrong, but number 9 is top stitching. Now top stitching is basically just sewing on the outside of the fabric, so it's just sewing so that it's visible, the stitches are visible from the outside, because actually the most generally, apart from hems, the majority of seams you're doing sewing, they're hidden from the outside view, they're on the inside of your project. But top stitching is basically stitches on the outside, so you just get stitch with your sewing machine on the right side of the fabric. Now generally they're either to keep something, the fabric in place, maybe it's just extra support to keep something in place, or it's maybe decorative. Lots of the time it's decorative, and it's just a nice way to finish off your sewing. Now the last one I have for today is sewing a toile. Now you may have heard toile, muslin, prototype or mock-up. They all mean the exact same thing. Muslin and toile are traditional names, but prototype and mock-up are like the layman's terms. I tend to use prototype. It's just the easiest I find. Basically, sewing a prototype, all that means is you're sewing a rough version of your project before you sew the real thing. And I am always talking about this in my sewing videos or in shorts and stuff on the channel. I'm always talking about the importance of sewing a prototype first. Now, you may be thinking that sewing a rough version of your project is only really for people who create their own patterns. It's extremely important if you create your own pattern. But I also think it's important if you're using somebody else's pattern, because the measurements for, say you're sewing something that's a piece of clothing, the measurements on their patterns may be slightly different to your measurements, so you may want to adjust the fit in some way. And if you start making adjustments on your real project, you may have to waste fabric, redo things again. So it's so much easier to sew a rough version first out of just some old scrappy fabric. Generally muslin's used because it's the cheapest fabric. Just use any old fabric that you have, and you don't have to sew it completely 100% perfectly. What I do is I just sew the most basic seams. I just sew enough so that I can stick it on, make sure I like the fit, and then I can move on and sew the final project. And that is all the terminology I have for you today. If there are any other terms that you want to find out about, just let me know down below in the comments and I can always make a part 2. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time on the channel.